Well, good day everybody from Hog Haven Family Farms, and I am up in the North Woods today, working on a leased property and having some fun in the snow. So we are doing some fires here on some brush piles that we've got up here. The idea behind this project was really to cut the trees to save the forest. It was a overgrown oak woods, and it was to open things up and allow some of the oaks to do wonderful, beautiful things and turn into nice, beautiful, open-grown trees. And the other ones needed to be turned into a giant slash pile. Now, this was prior to me getting the property, before I began grazing out here. So I'm kind of dealing with the aftermath of it all. So I've been cutting some firewood. There's a few of the piles kind of behind me here. You can see between the cedar and the woods there, I've got some firewood piles there. So I've been cutting on those. But today, I'm burning some brush piles. Now that one took me, oh man, probably a good half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to get going. Using a tiger torch here. And I use that to get things going, get a hot spot going, and then things get moving. Now that pile, unfortunately, I could only get started on the downwind end of it. So it's going to be a long burn to get that one to burn through the entire pile. But I'll keep working on it, and to be honest, I'll get done what I can get done today. And you know what? I can always come back another day to burn. We've got lots of snow here in Minnesota. We've got a good, probably 5 inches of snow on the ground. I was able to drive out here with the truck, which is parked up at the top of the hill, right up behind me here, right there. So I've got it turned around, ready to go, so I can get out of here A-okay. So I've got this pile going, and then I've got another one. You can maybe see the smoke from it, but it's behind me, past those where the wood piles are at. It's just on top of there. So we can walk up to this one. This one's going the best now. So I'll kind of walk up to this one. We can show you what we've got going on. Now, the idea behind this is really to help manage buckthorn, is how I'm going to be using this opening up. Now, all of this brush, all of that is common buckthorn. You can see that I grazed really hard around this pile. I don't know if you saw that this past summer, but I had them in here with electric netting, or electric single strand, to get them in here grazing this pretty hard so that I could get these piles burned up. So I didn't have any vegetation around it, and it was a lot easier to walk into, because I'm often having to walk in here with the snow. I don't have a four-wheeler or snowmobile or anything, so if I can get back here with the truck, great. If not, I'm walking. So, but common buckthorn, let's talk a little bit about that in an oak wood lot like this. Now, if we did not open this up, we would not be able to get enough sunlight to the ground where you'd actually have grass. And if all you've got is common buckthorn, if you cut that, then you're going to be left with a huge flush of seedlings of common buckthorn. Now, cows, I've watched them this past summer. I mean, they will eat it. It is not their favorite thing. They much prefer beautiful green grass. And so if you can actually open up the woods enough where you can get grass established, then you can get cows in there grazing, and you can win. That is how you're going to deal with common buckthorn. You know, just simply going into an oak wood lot and taking out the common buckthorn, you're going to have a heck of a problem with that, unless you can utilize, you know, a running fire or something like that. But as a farmer, I'm not able to do that. If you're a wildlife professional, then you can. You know, that's something you can actually establish. So you can kind of see behind me here, all of that is common buckthorn. And out here around, where it's a lot more open, there's not much for common buckthorn around here. And that is because I was able to get grass growing in this area, and that allowed me to graze the cows and to get rid of it. So Not a bad thing to cut some trees to save the forest. And to be honest, these oaks are going to love it because they are going to really become nice, beautiful open-grown white oaks. And what I mean by an open-grown oak, if you've ever seen some oak trees in a forest and the bottom big branches are starting to die back because cedars are invading, or elm, ash, maybe a whole bunch of other oak, basswoods, maples, you know, all the other native trees are growing up around these oaks. They were once just open grown oak trees, and they could spread out their branches and become nice big trees. And in the woods, those bottom branches just don't get enough sunlight, and so then they die back. And so then that's how you get a forest grown oak tree, is it's pretty much reaching up and trying to get more sun from, you know, compete with the sun from the other trees. So that's kind of what I mean by a forest grown versus an open grown oak tree. This area here that I am working in is called the Anoka sand plain, and so it's very sandy soils, but oak loves growing in that. It does very well with that, and so that's kind of the land management perspective I'm taking on this. Yes, I'm a farmer. Yes, I graze cows, but really what I'm looking at trying to do is manage land. And really, if you keep that in the forefront, I honestly believe that, you know, you're gonna have good habitat, and you're gonna have good grass and forage for your animals to use. So I thought I'd get a little close here, give you an idea of how this pile's going for me. It seems to be going pretty well. I've got a good wind today. You might be able to hear the highway in the back behind me. I need a wind to make sure that the smoke is not going to go across that. You can see in front here, I'll turn the camera around here so you can see where it's burning now. I've burned all the way in front here, but you can see how it's kind of trying to burn into that pile, but it's kind of getting pushed against the wind. I'm having a heck of a hard time getting it started on the back side of that, on the upwind side. I'll probably continue to try here, but for now I'm going to burn what I can burn, and we'll just have to keep working on the land here as we can. So I was getting cold, so I took a little break, get as close to the fire as I can get. I mean, it might not look like much on the camera. There is a lot of heat coming from that. That is all oak that's burning, and it is quite warm, so it feels good on my fingers. We are sitting at around 20 some degrees, mid 20s today, so not too bad, under freezing here in Minnesota. But we are headed into a real downturn, and it is going to get cold, and we're supposed to have quite a bit of snow come in, which is kind of why I'm back here today, because I can drive back here, and so that way I don't have to pull a sled and walk in order to get my propane and my Tiger torch back here. But I can also get these piles burned and have snow come down on top of it and not have to deal with smoldering fire for too terribly long. So that's kind of my plan. That's why I wanted to get this done today, because I don't have a lot of machinery, so I'm kind of playing the weather here to help me out, because I don't want this to just sit and smolder for a week. There you go. You can kind of see the smoke through the trees on that other pile that's burning. So I think what we'll do here, let's go for a little walk, and we will we'll go check out that other pile. So yeah, I'm having a hard time leaving this one though. All right, let's go for a walk. So it is really actually quite a nice day today though. I love this. I can't believe that I get to do this. This is stuff that, you know, maybe to the average person, you know, you'd rather be cozied up and watching YouTube. And I'm the guy that's out here braving the cold, getting chilled, which I did not that long ago, freezing my fingers off so I can put together a little bit of a video for all of you. And don't get me wrong, I like to cozy up and watch me on TV too, but I like making these videos. It's a pretty fun thing to say that I do, and a pretty fun thing to be able to say that I get to graze. I get to manage land. Something I honestly feel like I was born to do. All right, I'm gonna turn the camera around again so you can kind of see what I'm walking through here, and it'll make it a little easier for me to not have to try to talk at the camera as I'm walking through here. Kind of a thick area here that I'm walking through. But you can see how much buckthorn there is. So I'll turn the camera around, you guys can take a look. All right, so grazed, a little bit of buckthorn, not bad. Not grazed, thick. This was my line right through there. You can see where I walked and put a single strand, and this was not cleared, but some forestry work was done in these woods here. We were able to get some grass established. I put the line through here and then up and around that pile up there, and then graze this. That I have not touched yet. Probably next year, actually for sure next year, I'll get the cows into that. And just give you an idea of how thick it is. But let's walk up here. We'll see how this pile is doing. I did not bring my propane tank with me and tiger torch. I don't think I'd be able to haul it and carry a camera at the same time.